Welcome to Araz News English, where we share with you latest news of South Azerbaijan community. Third edition of political, social and cultural journal İleri was published with the help of national civil activists of South Azerbaijan. The electronic magazine İleri was published with the help of South Azerbaijan civil activists and writers. The meaning of İleri is to move forward. In the third issue of the magazine, the subject appeared to be the concept of nationalism and the connection of this concept to the national movement of South Azerbaijan. It should be emphasized that the third issue had been engrossed with activists Davut Turan, Simin Sabri, Işık Sönmez, Oğuz Türk, Amir Merdani, Mohsen Saadat, and Ibrahim Nafisi. Those who are interested can download the PDF of this magazine from the Araz News page. As an answer to the racist expression of the Minister of Education of Iran, protests continues in the cities of South Azerbaijan, while in many regions people painted the walls. As we know, the population of the Iranian sovereignty consists of the non-Persian ethnic groups such as Turks, Arabs, Laurels, Baluchis and Kurds. Mohammad Bedhai, Minister of Education of Iran, in his racist statement said, "Persian is the line we draw, and we need children to be educated not in their own language, but in the official Persian language." Many national civil activists and representatives of non-Persian nations showed their objections and asked the state to call this person to the court and resign. In many regions of South Azerbaijan, the people painted the walls. Erdebil, Mugan and Chaypara were from the leading cities of South Azerbaijan that applied this act. The words written on the walls were as follows: "Release South Azerbaijan national activists. Turkish language is our red line. We will soon need a translator to learn our own language. Farewell, Turkish language." The ethnic group living in Iran for weeks have been exposed to racist and insulting words of Iranian officials. According to Araz News Agency, U.S. Foreign Minister Mike Pompeo, talking at the Ronald Reagan Library, was mistranslated by VOA Persian news channel during the conference among Americans of Iranian origin. The translator of VOA Persian news channel has translated hundreds of Ahwazi as hundreds of Ajari. He also completely censored the part of the revolt of the Al-Ahwaz Arab people. Following this incident, many non-Persian civil activists showed their objection to this racist behavior by writing letters. Yusef Benitorov, an Al-Ahwazi national Arab activist, said, "This kind of misrepresentation of Mike Pompeo's word is a clear evidence that the Iranian regime is being enemy to Arab people. Those who want to know the truth, please listen to Pompeo speaking in English." It must be emphasized that previously VOA Persian misrepresented the speech of South Azerbaijan National Resistance Organization spokesman Babek Çelebianlı, which he objected to and asked the directors of this channel to change it immediately. Iran Football Federation has come to apply a new penalty to South Azerbaijan's national tractor football team. In the first Super League game, supporters of the tractor team will not be taken to the stadium. South Azerbaijan tractor team faced a new penalty from the Iranian Football Federation Management Committee a few days before the 18th Super League contest. As a part of the decision, tractor supporters will not be able to watch the first game as a home team. According to the Iranian Football Federation Administrative Committee, the ban on team members come from event in the match between Tractor and Saipa teams, which took place 7 months ago. According to the Management Committee's assertion, at a meeting in Tabriz Sehen Stadium last season, Tractor supporters voiced embarrassing slogans against the head coaches and the players of the opponent's team. On the 3rd of August, the Tractor football team will be hosting the Kazim Nasir team on their own field. This will be the first game to be hosted by the Tractor in the 18th Super League competition. Tractor Club and its supporters are punished periodically by the Football Federation for various reasons. There is a very different attitude to the Persian teams representing cities like Tehran and Isfahan. The supporters of Istiklal and Perspolis repeatedly shouted racist slogans against the Tractor team and the Turkish nation, but the Football Federation was silent against all of it. In different cities of South Azerbaijan, truck drivers went out to protest again. South Azerbaijan Tabriz truck drivers have begun to appeal for the changes. Drivers objected the prices of the spare parts of the car, the price of the wheels, the non-payment of the insurance premiums, and the low cost of the freight transport. There are protests in the cities other than Tabriz. The news agencies presented footage of protests in Rafsanjan, Kezvin, Bushehr, Shiraz, Kirmanshah, Isfahan, Tehran, and other cities. Truck drivers began protesting in all provinces of Iran on May 22nd. The International Transport Federation has supported the Iranian protesters as a representative of 19 million workers. The federation informed that drivers have suffered from the price increases in Iran and that their income is very low. The North American Cargo Truck Drivers Association have sent a letter to United States Embassy in Iran to support truck drivers. The word duel of the US and Iranian leaders has reached its peak. Iranian politician and senior journalist Imadeddin Baki said that this duel passed on political phase now and that the probability of war is high. While Iran threatens to close the Strait of Hormuz, the US President Trump warns Rouhani and says that they will not tolerate the threats of Iran. US Foreign Minister Pompeo said that the regime governing Iran was not a state but a mafia. These debates continue in such an environment that the former Iranian politician and analyst Elahe Koulai reports that Iran, like Soviets, has entered the process of irreversible economic decline. In this case, non-Persian nations who constitute more than half of the Iranian population have sought to draw their own destiny. Unfortunately, it is difficult for Persian society and intellectuals to recognize the fact of multi-identity and multicultural country. Therefore, they deny it. This situation makes it impossible for the political forces of non-Persian nations and the Persian political forces to work together. In this case, it is of urgent importance for non-Persian nations to unite. While South Azerbaijani Turkish political organizations and leaders emphasize self-determination and the right to legitimate defense, other non-Persian nations living in Iran attach importance to dialogue and cooperation with Arabs, Baluchis, and Kurds. Only in this way can the salvation and interest of these people be preserved during and after the transition period. But an important aspect of this issue is that these nations have respect for one another. It is rather harmful for these nations to put forward unfounded and diffuse claims against each other, and it is only a matter of the regime and other anti-democratic forces. For example, some Kurdish organizations are already advocating territorial claims against South Azerbaijan. Judgments and initiatives against the territories of South Azerbaijan are continuing in the regions of Astara and Caspian Coast. Of course, this is not an acceptable situation for South Azerbaijani Turks, and the historical nation of South Azerbaijan will not refrain from using the legitimate defense right in such a case. The wish and goal of South Azerbaijani political forces and the National Resistance Organization of Azerbaijan is for all nations to act together in their own right and legal framework and within good neighborly relations and guide their own destiny to a democratic future. It was all news for this week. See you next Saturday on Araz News English.